Piazza Tricolore in Reggio Emilia is not a building, but an urban space, so the typical items from building datasheets should be treated with caution. There is no single year of construction. The area originated as the node of Porta San Pietro and took on its modern configuration in the post-World War II period, when traffic reorganization and the construction of the so-called skyscraper, 1952-1953, consolidated the square's current image. The materials are those commonly used in Reggio's public spaces: stone or porphyry paving slabs and setts laid over roadbed sublayers, with periodic resurfacing and maintenance over time. The building fronts that define it are heterogeneous, from historic fabric to the 20th century architecture of the skyscraper. Since the square is not a volume, it has no height of its own. The only recurring dimensional reference is the Porta San Pietro skyscraper, a modern residential building with 13 stories over 50 meters tall, which serves as the area's landmark. The time taken is also not a single block. It consists of successive stratifications, from transformations tied to the historic gate to post-war reconstruction up to more recent redevelopment works. As for the material used, in a structural sense, the square combines the sublayers and screeds typical of urban infrastructure with stone finishes. The surrounding buildings employ solutions consistent with their respective periods. The skyscraper, by type and date, is plausibly based on reinforced concrete frames with infill walls and loggias, but no public datasheets with certified structural sections are available. Consequently, reliable quantities of concrete or metal cannot be stated. Official quantity surveys are lacking, and any figures would be speculative. The square AS style is that of a 20th century urban crossroads linking historic fronts with a pragmatic post-war modernist landmark. The tricolore identity is chiefly civic and toponymic, connected to the January 7 celebrations and the nearby Sala del Tricolore, rather than to a unified formal language of the open space. Regarding the number of statues, Piazza Tricolore does not feature permanent monumental groups comparable to those in other squares. Images and reports depict it mainly as a site of institutional ceremonies with temporary setups for the Festa del Tricolore. The number of windows is not a parameter applicable to the square as a whole. Openings belong to the facing buildings and vary case by case with no official aggregate count. In summary, the only hard metrics for Piazza Tricolore are chronological and urban, its configuration consolidated in the post-war period, the presence of the skyscraper as a vertical reference, and its symbolic role linked to the national flag. All other building type measures, single definitive height, quantities of concrete and metal, total number of windows, are not pertinent or are not publicly documented with certainty.